to the School of Stocks. I am Victor Dungu, your host. We shall be continuing our last discussion about the types of shares by taking a step further. We will be using, of course, the analogy of the cake. Right. Assume that you have 3 cakes. 1, 2, 3. These cakes represent 3 companies. And then you have these companies subdivided into shares. Right. If you want to do a cake test, of course, you would pick one out of these, one out of that, and one out of that one as well. Eat and have a feel for the texture, the taste in your mouth, the aftertaste, the general quality of what it is you are eating. Right. So of these 3, you can then make your choice of which is the best. So also, if you have 3 different companies to choose from, you have to actually delve in and check which one would give you the best returns. Luckily, you don't have to bite to have a taste. You don't have to buy the shares, or somebody does not have to give to you to have the taste. The taste for the quality, the texture, the aftertaste, and everything is in the public domain. You don't need an inside knowledge at all. You don't need an inside knowledge. Everything you need is in the public domain. So, of these 3 companies, sometimes people would say this is a company that is known. Known for what? Known for their products. Known for this, known for that. But the question is, does this company really exist to make money? Does it make money? Or it's just existing to bounce along? And so, people at times get confused by the veil. I call it the veil of the company name. Yes. And hook, line, sinker, they just bite the cake. No, you don't have to. You don't have to do that. So what I'm trying to tell you right now is that before you go on getting the share of a company, there are things you need to know. And those things are subdivided into 2 main headings. To unveil a company, you have 2 things you need to look for. You need 1, a quantitative analysis of the company, and then 2, you need a qualitative analysis of the company. Here, we delve into one, income statements, cash flow statements. We'll delve into the balance sheet. Then we would look at their rates of return, there are various rates of returns. You look at, there are things like return on equity, return on assets, and the best of all, if you don't even know any one, just know this one: return on invested capital. Return on invested capital. These ones, the return on equity, for me, is a bit deceptive, quite deceptive. Return on assets, that includes cash, which sometimes distorts the picture. So this one right here, this last one, return on invested capital, actually considers everything that is used by the company to run its operation, less those ones that are sitting aside. So this is more functional. This is more functional. So then the next thing you look at is the changes in sales, changes in net income, then percentage of revenue that remains as net income. Then you are looking at things like price to earnings, ratio, price to book ratio. All of these and more are the things you look for in the quantitative analysis side of things. You can't even succeed in making this analysis if you can't have at least a look at the last 5 years of the financial statements. Or let's even say at least the last 3 years. Yes, the last 3 years of the financial statements. If you don't, you may as well go to the casino in Las Vegas and try your luck. If you don't do this, you may as well kiss your money goodbye. Remember, all we are trying to do is to pick the best slice of cake. That's all. That's all. Okay, so let's move on to the qualitative side of things. On the qualitative side of things, it's more like a defense mechanism for this company, for its operation and its success for tomorrow. Otherwise, competitors would always come and steal your cookie. It is that easy. So, the number one structural advantage that you can have is intangibles. The intangible advantages. Here we are talking about things like patents. You can ask companies like Apple what patents do for them. Yes. So patents are number one way of defending your turf. You can ask a company like Qualcomm what patent does. Qualcomm actually has a special arm that collects revenue from their patents. Then you can have things like licensing. The harder it is to get a license, the more it is for you to operate at a greater advantage. Also, you have resistance to substitution. What happens with this is the products that you are selling, that the company is selling, should be such that it's so difficult for people to want to change from using their products. Either because they are so used to it that every other thing they do depends on their whole life. The extras, left, right, center, the whole architecture, the whole structure of their operation depends on the products of that company. Products are structured in a way such that even when people want to change, they can't change because things will just go wrong. Things will go wrong. This is particularly useful when it comes to companies that focus on sectors, on sectors, when they capture a sector, like they are the big fish in a small pond. So they capture a sector and then they provide such services that everyone in that sector tends to work with those kind of products. And then when you are not working with it in that sector, you find it difficult to get along with every other person. This itself makes room for the company that sells these products to actually increase their prices. The buyers, what they just do, they pass on the cost to the other people, or they absorb the cost themselves. That's another structural advantage. Number 3 is economics of scale. So what economics of scale does is that it brings down your unit price such that when your competitors come, they find it difficult to actually cope with the price that you are giving to customers. Their unit cost price is way higher than what it is that you are offering, and therefore they would be operating at a loss. So if they cannot find a way to beat your unit price, then they cannot come in to do a competition. No. And economies of scale can happen in various aspects in the operation. It can happen at any point in the operation. That will just give you that advantage that your end product is always way cheaper. So for economics of scale to actually happen, you have to have what you call strategic positioning, and then also you have to have operational efficiency. Operational efficiency. So your operation should be quite efficient. There should be minimal waste. It should have a fit. So everything should align. So that is how you have your advantage in terms of economics of scale. Number 4, you should have network effects. Network effects means that it's so easy that your operation can multiply when you have basis for what it is you are doing. You can scale just that easily without any additional cost as such. And then people would continue in multiples to use and expand the base of your operation. So your services are very easy to be run on a network. Imagine MasterCard. The way MasterCard does its network is like this. They have a bank, account holder, seller. So what they have done is they have built super highways to each and every one of these people, such that another bank can be here, another account holder, another seller can be here, and then anytime this network is going to be used, generate them a form of fee. To bring in an account holder, it doesn't cost anything to MasterCard. They already have this, who gives the account holder the card, and then their money flies through the network of MasterCard to generate funds for them. Also, look at something like Facebook. How much does it cost Facebook for you to open a Facebook account? Next to nothing. So, on a network effect issue, customer base can just multiply or using your services by costing you next to nothing in terms of cost. Beyond this, you need to ask questions like, who is at the head of the company? You're going to get a clear idea of the quality of the business from the numbers that this company is going to generate. So, if you combine these two together, you will have what I call your margin of safety. So if you do all of these together, it will prevent you from buying an unduly expensive cake, which is of bad quality. It will help you to buy a high quality cake for a very good price. To further enable us improve on our margin of safety, whatever it is you are doing in here, you need to be guided by the economic cycle. Economic cycle is just the boom and bust cycle. Boom and bust cycle. You don't want to buy a very good company today at what you think is an attractive price, and then 3 months, 4 months down the line, right here, you bought right here, and then you are thinking, oh, it's going to keep going right up, but lo and behold, it comes right crashing. Let's say you got this at maybe $10, it comes right back down to maybe $2, with a loss of 80%. Yeah, so you don't want that. You don't want that. The pain you are going to feel here cannot be described. The pain you are going to feel here cannot be described. In fact, there is a Nobel laureate, Daniel Kahneman, who described loss as neural. Neural means that the pain of a loss is felt right in your brain, to the extent that if you put the same, if this is if this is the same pain and this is the same gain, you're going to feel this pain 2-3 times more than you feel this gain. So you need to be guided by the economic cycle. For me, I would rather, I understand that we are at this point, and that if I exercise a bit of patience, it is going to come right back down to $2, such that rather than getting one share here, one share, if I wait a bit more, I can buy 5 shares down the line. Everyone, like I said, knowledge is power. If you stay with me, if I can get at least 100,000 subscribers, I'm going to tell you exactly what it is that busts the bubble of every boom. There is something that looks like a pin that deflates the balloon of a boom. And when the pin is about to prick the balloon, you will see the pin grow. You will see the pin coming right out. But the problem is, not everyone knows that there is a pin that busts the balloon of a boom. Spread these videos. This is uncommon stuff. This is uncommon stuff. Spread these videos and let's get this knowledge and make ourselves a ton of money. Thank you and have a good day.